She said that American soccer fans, most of them aren't smart. They don't know the game. They don't understand.
Gio.
That guy Gazpacho.
Sports can take a lame gorilla, okay?
Advice, did you know that Arsenal died?
He's got me buzzing.
Up the TOFFEEs. It's hard to up them anyway.
I'm even gonna comment on that.
Spread it.
Welcome back to Footy with the boys. A big episode today, boys, about Premier League. Some interesting results, both the good, the bad, and the ugly here. We'll get in some big news, and we'll run through the Gunners' massive win versus Aston Villa. We'll talk about the TOFFEEs, and then we'll get into the Premier League wrap-up as well, get you every result, along with the US men's national team corner, as always. Boys, start with the big news. Chelsea is all of a sudden good, I guess. I mean, comes out and absolutely demolishes Wolves here, 6-2. Madueke, storyline galore on this one, gets the hat trick. But before the game, posts on his Instagram story, trying to post it on a burner account, posts on his actual Instagram, Wolverhampton is like a piece of shit. There's nothing to do here. This town sucks. Goes out and scores a fucking hat trick. He must have really fucking hated that place, guys. I mean, shit. Cole Palmer with 4 goal involvements and a sneaky Joao Felix goal in this one. That is how bad it got for Wolves. Mike, is this a case of Wolves being shit? Or is it Chelsea might actually have something cooking here with their $1.2 billion spent in the last 2 years?
Chelsea definitely looked good, but Wolves are awful. Ait Nouri, I believe, is their left back. Dude got caught out of position every goal. I mean, it was just Cole Palmer in space, Madueke running down the right wing, and he slips him in. It was just pretty much the same goal 3 times in a row. So they look truly bad. They need some serious reinvestment. I don't like the 4-back they're playing. They played a 5-back more last year, which I thought was more effective. They look awful.
Yeah. Nick, it sounds like they just kind of wanted to get into a shootout, got the 2-2, and then kept going shootout style and got exposed. I mean, their defense was Swiss cheese. Just anytime Chelsea broke, had any type of transition. I wouldn't even say Chelsea had exquisite transitional play. It was just if somebody ran in, they were fucking through. Is there that much you can take from this one for Chelsea, though? Because it is a lot of people getting on the score sheet and getting some form here, at least.
Yeah, it'll give them confidence for sure. It's weird. Wolves played a 5-back last week against Arsenal, so I was also very confused with the whole 4-back thing. It did not look like they were ready. Cole Palmer got 3 assists the same way he got 3 penalties last year, just tapping a ball, because he did not have to do much special in order to get these goal involvements today. But he was at the 10 and definitely at the center of everything. So that's definitely good news if you're a Chelsea fan. Listen, I don't want to see another Mykhailo Mudryk starting again. Neto came on and immediately
that was crazy.
Celebrated in Wolves' face after like a week of being at Chelsea. Like, that was insane. But Neto, Palmer, and Madueke front 3, I think it's got something. And you know, I still am not going to buy into the Joao Felix thing, but he took his goal very well. So there could be something there for sure. They definitely have talent. We knew that last year. And just, I guess you could say, not enough. To be fair, the expected goals was like 2 for Chelsea. Like it was maybe there's rumors Wolves are after Ramsdale. That might need to happen after this weekend.
Yeah, that might be pushing it through quite a bit. But I will say, Chelsea, even after the game, continued to hit some headlines. Nicholas Jackson tagged Obi Mikel and said, "Hey, shut up about me. I scored the fastest goal in Chelsea's history." So Chelsea's PR team
a free header, by the way.
A fucking hell of a day. An absolute hell of a day with Nani Madueke saying he hates Wolverhampton. They get all this amount of goals, amazing, and then straight back down to Instagram story bullshit. It is the pure Chelsea way, but they
almost
win.
Like they're all 20 years old.
Yeah. So you have like 50, 20-year-olds. I'll be like, no, you should post that, honestly.
That's fire, bro.
You fucking
They
got him
got
on
Enzo
that one.
Fernandez running their PR team, dude.
Yeah,
That's
let's
bad
not.
news.
Pause.
Yeah, listen.
And we move.
It just
Manchester
gives much worse
United.
than that. Manchester
Transition.
United, the other massive team that has been an interesting watch as of recently. Manchester United loses to Brighton here. They thought they had won it in the 69th minute, or at least gone ahead with a late goal. Garnacho, the future of Argentina, Mike, had the goal, and Joshua Zirkzee, the new signing, decides to
In the
continue to
way.
slide through and touch it with his knee before it goes in the net. He is offsides. And then 90th plus 5th minute, Joao Pedro gets a goal. Absolutely nobody marking. 3 Brighton players, not just Joao Pedro, 3 Brighton players were at that back post ready for the cross after the corner had bounced out. Very bad defending here from Manchester United. Overall, just not a good performance again. Nick, you've been slightly, I don't know if positive is the word, but you've been optimistic
Positive.
that Erik ten Hag
Yeah.
might turn around here and get something going. Same shit show through two games here. Where's that confidence meter in Erik ten Hag for you here?
It took one Brighton win versus Man U to tank the confidence in Erik ten Hag. It didn't take much, if I'm being honest, to destroy this kind of house of cards I had going about Man U. Listen, I've been more open to the possibility of teams winning ugly throughout the summer. My mind has been more and more open to it. But sometimes you're just ugly, and that's just kind of what it is. Like sometimes there's not much more to the story. And that does seem to be what's going on at Man U. It's an embarrassing loss early. Best thing though, Garnacho posting on Instagram after
Yeah,
with like the picture of him celebrating his goal. He was
his
like,
disallowed
he's like,
goal.
we will. Yeah, he's like, we will. I don't know what he said, but he was like, we're gonna accomplish our goals or something. It's like, bro, you just lost. What are you talking about? So yeah, very very funny. And Brighton, 31-year-old manager, they're looking good.
Fabian Hürzeler, the German-American, born in Houston, spent most of his life in Germany, though. That is probably where he got his footballing knowledge. Born in Houston, so American citizen. Mike, some transfers as we get into this last week of the transfer window. Going through Rayo in Spain, getting Mr. James Rodriguez. Was not playing in Brazil. Has had an interesting past with not really wanting to be in Qatar after a little bit, playing in Greece, not wanting to play there. Is this a move that's going to work out, you think?
It's an interesting one. Rayo loved their Colombian legends. Had Radamel Falcao on the team for a couple years there. Didn't play that much. Is quite a bit more advanced in age than James is. James still in his young 30s. I don't know if this will work out. His club career has been all over the place. Hasn't been super successful really since he left Everton, and Everton didn't end all that well. I'm optimistic. I hope he plays well. I think La Liga is a good league for him. That pace of play, that level of physicality. But I'm not all in that it's going to be all glory for him.
Yep. And Nick, does it really have to work out from a Colombian fan perspective? He hasn't had any consistent play time at all. This may make him sharper if it does work out, but I mean, Colombia seemed to have a good fix on that Cotton Bowl qualifiers, and James just does his own thing.
Yeah, I mean, we're playing Argentina in the upcoming qualifier, so it's a big move ahead of a big year and a half. So I think it'll be good. I don't see why it wouldn't, if I'm being honest. I understand he's had a bit of a turbulent career. I mean, he took the money grab at Qatar. Nestor Lorenzo gets hired and tells him, you have to get the hell out of Qatar or else I'm not going to pick you. Goes to Greece. The Greece and Brazil stints were at a higher level, and so Nestor trusts him there, and now he's back at La Liga. So I think he's proven he can be a quality player there before. Obviously, he's not going to be the same guy that he was for Real way back when, but I don't know, name a player on Rayo. I think he's going to be their best player. So I'm optimistic about the move. I don't think it means too much because, like you said, I kind of expect him to be the same guy for Colombia regardless. But hell, if I can watch a little bit more La Liga with James Rodriguez, that's a win for me.
Yeah, La Liga got a little bit more interesting there. Producer P, I believe you have a note on Victor Roca the Barcelona man, going to Real Betis here, the young forward.
Not so
Dying
much
to hear
about
this
him.
one.
I just wanted to ask Mike, what the
Door.
fuck is this warm-up kit? Jesus Christ.
Not sure. It's interesting. Kind of looks like a rib cage. Yeah, I don't hate it.
You
I
wouldn't.
don't know if my first thought was a rib cage. It looks more of like the Nick, you're a teacher. What is that little thing that goes on the outside of writing? You know, switch
What?
those vertical. What would that be in writing?
Parentheses?
No, but it has a
What the fuck are
little
we talking about?
little diamond output thing. Or
This is the
still
electric
saying it?
content people tune in our pod for. It's just-
Listen, in the comments, let us know. Subscribe so you can continue to get grammatical tests. We'll move past Victor Roca going to Real Betis because he's a thing of the past now. Endrick is the future. Mr. Bobby Charlton getting a goal today. Real Madrid. Boys, is he better than Mbappe? I'm just fucking around. But Sir Bobby Charlton, reborn into Endrick, he gets a goal, which he hasn't looked the greatest in Copa America in a lot of different situations, but his goal resume already against England and Wembley, in the Bernabeu in his home debut for Real Madrid. Got another one internationally that was a winner. I can't remember exactly where it was, but I mean, he's got a decent resume of big goals here, Mike. Is he going to be able to crack it at Real Madrid?
I don't know if he'll be able to crack it. He's going to have so few minutes, and he won't always be able to get a last-minute goal is the thing. It's so tough. But he took his opportunity here. I watched most of this match. Mbappe, Rodrigo, and Vinny were not on the same wavelength. There's a lot of overlap, a lot of people making the same runs. Definitely kinks to work out. Mbappe trying to force things. All makes sense. What I can't say is when Brahim Diaz came in and Endrick came in, they looked like they had a clearer identity. The guys underneath them could pull the strings a bit more. So it opened up the team to actually play as a cohesive unit instead of 8 guys behind the ball and then the 3 doing up front doing whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, I did see that Mbappe missed a pretty good chance in that one, and Rodrigo had said last week that people need to start putting his initial in that top level players for Real Madrid. So give it a year before that breaks apart, Nick. This Galacticos
Listen,
2.0.
This Endrick goal also wasn't a great goal. Like, that should have been saved. Like, I don't think it made it 3-0. I mean, he struck it from, I don't know. I didn't think it was that impressive of a goal. Shout out to him. I feel like I've been a hater. I don't think he's going to be all that he's been built up to just because he's been hyped to be, I don't know, the next coming of Jesus Christ. So I don't think he's going to be that or anywhere near it. But imagine being 18 and scoring on your debut for Real at the Bernabeu. So must be pretty cool feeling for him. It obviously meant a lot to him. And I do think he'll get some more minutes. Who else is in that front 3? It's like I think it's just him and Brahim are the forwards, right? I guess Güler maybe.
Arda Güler plays kind of that 10 position. He played where Bellingham usually played.
Today,
Yeah,
He'll play some. He'll have some minutes, I think. I mean, Bellingham will still play some false 9. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're gonna blow teams out, so he'll get decent amount of garbage time minutes where he can get these goals while people are kind of like, well, fuck, we already lost. So, but
yeah,
listen, he has been billed to be the next Pele. Not sure if he'll reach that status, but certainly think with Vinny, Rodrigo, and Bellingham all around him, they can kind of guide him as young stars of the right path to development. Nick, some big news for Arsenal this weekend. Fabio Vieira, unfortunately, went back to Porto, a huge loss for the squad. But Nick,
it's not Fabio Vieira.
Huh?
John McGinn.
No, that is not him. But even without him, they were able to beat Aston Villa against all odds. A huge win, as they didn't pick up a single point versus Villa last season. They came out, they not only won, but they won by 2 goals here. It did come a little bit later on. It was not maybe domination or a real statement, but a statement nonetheless. It is a very good Aston Villa squad. And Aston Villa look like they got some ballers on their team, but Arsenal are just clinical, able to finish off their chances and get the win here. What did you like? What did you not like? What are you seeing from the Arsenal squad here? 2 games in, a big win versus Villa.
I think it's a much bigger statement than you made it out to be. I don't know how many games you guys think is harder than an away day at Villa in the league for Arsenal, like
Very
City
few.
and Liverpool.
City, Liverpool, home and away.
Well, I mean the away games is what I'm talking about specifically.
At
But
Goodison.
I don't.
Away games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, rainy Tuesday at Goodison. Listen,
We'll hold you to 4.
I think it was quite the performance.
Yeah.
I think we dominated the ball. Credit to Villa because they broke with intensity. That Morgan Rogers kid can ball. Oh my god, he made Party his little bitch for like half the game and was able to body Rice a time or two as well. So that guy, I think they have something there at the 10. But yeah, I mean that mid block at Villa Park is nasty business, bro. Like it is tough to play around. But we were able to hold possession for most of the time. We gave up a few transition chances. The Ollie Watkins one, I think it was a foul on Gabriel, so I'm going to give it a pass on that. But they could, I forgot what there was one in the second half that probably should have been finished by Villa as well. Oh yeah, the David Raya wonder save
Right.
off the
Crazy
goal
save.
line.
Holy
What
crap,
a credit. So I think it reveals a lot. That one thing that I feel really good about, I felt this last year too, is like if we got a disappointing result against a team, I feel really good that we're going to beat them the next game, which is why I felt more confident than maybe I should have been coming into this weekend. But like last season it happened too. We the year before last year, Newcastle, I think, beat us and held us to a draw, and that kind of spiraled our season towards the end. And then we beat the shit out of Newcastle twice last year. So I feel really good about the mentality of the squad. Leo Trossard and Martinelli. I know people keep saying, Martinelli's obviously low on confidence right now. He didn't have his best day, but I just think they're both such different players that it works on that left-hand side. And if one isn't working that day, you put the other one on and you get something different. So I really, really like that left-hand side. Raya, obviously the hero. Saliba and Gabriel, I mean, as monsters as you could get. That late tackle by Saliba at 2-0 was otherworldly. Just I don't know how he covered that much ground at his size. And to me, Urian Timber, who hopefully, I think this is officially the death of Zinchenko at left back for Arsenal, because he looked incredible. Calafiori looked great when he came on in the last 15 as well. And Timber, Villa's press was definitely keeping the ball away from Odegaard and Saka. That was kind of their whole game plan, like make it go down the left. And Timber was pulling the strings for much of that first half and a lot of the second half too. So really, really impressed with the boys in general. Like I said, Martinelli, not his best day, but he's low on confidence. We're going to keep backing the boy until he gets back to what we know he is. And King Kai, unfortunately, not his best at the 9. Probably should have scored a goal as well. But overall, I think it just shows we are who we say we are, and that is a title contender. And we're going to take City all the way to the last match week again. So we'll see what happens from there. But we're a serious, serious team.
Yeah, it was important to keep pace with City because they had an easier match against Ipswich Town. Knew they were basically going to get 3 points. You do want to keep step in step with them. And this is one of those big games that will certainly test City as well. And you guys came out with flying colors in that one. Mike, not flying colors for Everton 2 weeks into this season. I don't really want to preface this with much. I just want to let you rant for a bit, and then I will say my piece and just go ahead.
I don't even know really what to rant about here. It's everything. It's nothing. It's the same old. How do we put out that starting 11? Like, I get we're not the most robust roster. We don't have depth of talent, but that 11 is shocking. We put a right back out there, Roman Dixon, who's never played before for the first team, starting at right back, 19 years old. He's got Michael Keane at the center back pairing with Tarkowski. We saw what Michael Keane did on the first week. Terrible, awful.
That's
and he didn't
3
do any
years.
better this game. It was so bad. I mean, the midfield, we're missing Garner right now. I think he is a starter when he's healthy. So that is something, but inexcusable. Awful performance. Jordan Pickford was bad and he was culpable for 1 goal, just gifted it to him. And when that's your captain, that's the guy who's setting the tone and he's playing like that. It's just all bad. Substitutions really didn't amount to anything. And we did exactly what we can't do against Tottenham. We got open, we left space in the midfield, and we let them run at us. I saw Mickey Van de Ven carry the ball by himself like 8 times that match. Yeah, sure, he's fast, but he's a center back. You can't let that dude rip through your team. Did it time and time again. He did it in our box. He did it on a breakaway. Fuck, dude. All I could say is Vitaly Mykolenko was our performer of the day, and he played left back, and we conceded 4 goals. So what does that say?
Yeah, Mike, I think honestly, just a depressing game to watch from an Everton perspective. Sean Dyche, his whole thing is defensive stability. You're not going to get much out of the attack, but you're going to be defensively solid. You can get some low-scoring games where you get a draw against the big teams. You can nick one on a counterattack and get some wins. First 2 games of the season, just bucket loads of goals scored against Everton. It looks like there hasn't been a defense. If Sean Dyche, as manager, is into play defensive and get Everton defensive results, and there's no fucking defense being played, I mean, how long is the leash here? You also brought in investments on players in the back line. You're not playing them. You brought in investments in the attack, and you're not subbing them on until you're already out of the game, down 2 or 3. What game or what point is the litmus test for Sean Dyche of, hey, you're either passing or you're failing right here and now?
I mean, we play Bournemouth. That's our next matchup in the Premier League. Bournemouth haven't looked great. They're definitely more talented roster than we are. But if we get humiliated by them, I mean, the leash has to be almost up. I get why we have Sean Dyche. He's a safe manager. With this roster, the whole idea is just to stay up and stay up comfortably. I think that's achievable with him. I haven't lost all faith. But if you're getting blown out like this, back-to-back matches and not sniffing a goal, you have to look elsewhere. I mean, I don't know who that man is. I don't know what the name would be, but this is really, really bad. And I don't know how many teams in the Premier League are worse than Everton at the moment.
To be fair, really quickly, is it Dyke's fault? Because this team sucks. Like, who's your best outfield player? Is there a single outfield player that you like? Like, is there a guy you feel good in? Like, not okay, not decent, but like you actually like, okay, he's a good player.
But in the starting lineup this week, the only one would be James Tarkowski and Vitaly Mykolenko. Those are the only 2. And Tarkowski's looked like shit so far this season.
Dude, I mean, like, just look at, even if you're talking about Southampton, at least Southampton has like players that you can point at and be like, hey, I like that player. Like, there's, I don't look at a single Everton player like that. And I think, we were talking about Southampton probably being the worst team in the league this year. I think Southampton has a better actual roster than Everton does. And I don't know how much fault you can give to Sean Dyche for that, because what the hell is he supposed to do with Beto, who doesn't know how to move, with Calvert-Lewin, who hasn't looked good in 6 years, with no one in the midfield, Tom Abraham being your like best midfielder? Like, what?
Timmy.
That is, listen, I feel for him a little bit. I understand if and when he gets fired, but who's coming in and saving this? Because, I mean, you don't have the horses to run this race.
I mean,
we don't have the horses,
that's the thing.
But we also can't compete 7. Like that, right? Goal differential is a thing. We're going to lose. At least tighten it up and not get embarrassed.
Your
and
savior's name
get embarrassed.
is Greg Berhalter.
I would stop watching the Premier League in entirety if that did happen.
Anyone?
Sean Dyche, yes, he has a bad roster, but comparatively to some of the teams, it is still either on the same level or above. And his whole thing is defense. If you can't do that, you don't really have anything. You still need to be able to defend
on the same level or above. Omari Hutchinson is better than every player on Everton.
Yeah, and who else on Ipswich is?
The fact that you don't have one player better than the guy on Ipswich is terrifying, is it not?
I'm not saying that Everton has an amazing squad, but there's enough there to still stay up in 15th,
I don't know 14th. If there is.
I just think
don't know if
it's.
there is.
Yeah, listen, if you're a defensive manager and you're allowing the second most goals only because Wolves are god awful at didn't even seem like they were trying to defend against Chelsea, I don't know what to say. Your managing is not working out because that's your style, and it's the exact opposite of what you're promising to do as a manager. So I think if he doesn't get a point against Bournemouth, you start calling around and seeing what is available, because if you're not getting a point against Bournemouth, the way we're playing, there's no fucking shot in hell we're getting a point against Aston Villa, and then you're going to Leicester, and if you're leaving Sean Dyche in charge against Leicester and don't get points, that's 5 games in a row without a point, and you're relegated at that point. You're just so in the shitter.
We need a point deduction. That's the only thing that can inspire us now.
That is the only way we go on a run of form, is if we go to -4 points on the season, and then we'll go fucking crazy up the table. But listen, Everton, depressing as it be, there are other games to also talk about in this league, starting with the Merseyside counterparts. Liverpool, under Arne Slot, getting another win, 2-0 versus Brentford. Both Luis Diaz and Mohamed Salah getting on the scoreboard. The Slot era is off to a good start there. West Ham showing off their talent with a 2-0 win versus Palace. Tough 2 games for Palace now, 2 losses here to start their season. Bournemouth and Newcastle, boys. This brings up a lot of potential storylines, as Bournemouth probably should have won this game. We're up 1-0. Anthony Gordon pulls one back, and Bournemouth score a winner. It's off the shoulder of the player and still called a handball after VAR, so they end up drawing this one instead of winning. And to add insult to injury, the referee made one of the craziest calls ever for a yellow card on a illegal tackle in American football. Joe Linton decides to clothesline the keeper when Bournemouth are trying to start a counter. An absurd play by Joel Linton here, Mike. I mean, how is that not a red card? Can you make any argument for wrapping somebody around the neck as they're starting a counter?
He didn't hit him in the face. So, yeah, it can't be that
bad. Last year, Bruno Guimaraes elbowed Jorginho in the forehead. Did not get a red card through VAR. Now Joelinton drags a guy down by a neck and does not get a red card. There is, some connections that you can draw, some leaps that are reasonable to make. That being said, I am pro the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman. We have been an MBS pod since the beginning, or ever since my car got stolen. So that is my take on it.
Mashallah.
Yeah, that was certainly something. Let us know in the comments if you think maybe Joel Linton could make one of these NFL rosters about to start on up. Actually, that is an illegal tackle as well. You can't do horse collar tackling in the NFL either. But listen, he can learn. He has the effort that you need. Fulham getting a win over Leicester, and Anthony Jedi Robinson with an assist in that for the winner. Manchester City go down 1-0 at Ipswich, and then Man City happened. They score 4 in a row.
We almost
Erling
had
Haaland
boys.
with the hat trick. Almost had him. It was 1-0 within the 7th minute, and then by the 17th minute, it was 3-1. So it got out of hand rather quickly there. I wish that scoring pace would have continued. 4 goals in the first 17 minutes. We would have been on for an absolute goal fest, and instead Ipswich kind of shut it down, made it a little bit more respectable. Ends 4-1 there. And then finally, the game that nobody really cares about, Southampton, Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest get the win there. Can't say I watched a second of that, and I'm proud to say that. I think that's a good sign for mental health. If you have not watched any of Nottingham Forest versus Southampton, that's not a good one to watch there. Boys, what caught your eye this weekend of the remaining fixtures in the Premier League? Goal, moment, result? Mike?
Erling Haaland, still a robot. Well taken hat trick, although 2 of them were very easy goals. Picking it off the keeper, penalty. third one was very good. But the big storyline, Man City with some questionable refereeing as well. Probably won't change the outcome of the game, but Savio takes down an Ipswich player in the box. Clear as day penalty, waved away after they got a relatively soft penalty earlier in the game. So, yeah, Man City also getting the Newcastle treatment, if we want to call it that.
More connections you can draw. Interesting.
Nick, what caught your eye?
Interesting. Listen, shout out to the Arsenal boys. ESR and Iwobi on the score sheet, getting them big 3 points on the weekend. So shout out to the boys. And then what else did I like? Oh, I mean, how are we not saying that Mo Salah is not the best player in the world? Like he is, in my opinion, the best footballer in the world. Just output machine and the definition of clinical. So I'm done with these Vinny shouts, which have been lame. I'm done with these.
Okay. If you're shouting Vinny
Holland
versus Salah, you're crazy.
Shout out
I'm
Salah.
done with these like Holland shouts. Salah is the best player in the world, and I am willing to die on that hill right now.
The king.
That finish was sweet.
Salah. I mean, Salah just absurd. Always scores for Liverpool. Boys, let's get into the U.S. men's national team corner. You can see I'm already prepped for it, wearing the Christian Pulisic jersey here. Let's start with, boys, do you want to start with the good or the bad of the U.S. men's national team corner first?
Good.
Bring it down.
Good. All right.
All right.
Well, we're going to
Keep
start
it
with the
up.
good.
Bring it down. Bring it down.
We,
Bring it down.
Bring it down.
Bring it
Keep
down.
going back and forth. Switch back and forth.
Okay. Let's start with the good.
Ray Allen tweet.
Pulisic gets a goal. His first goal of Serie A season so far. And Musah also starts alongside him against Parma. Parma fucking dominated in this game. It was somewhat embarrassing, but Pulisic does get his goal. Looked good on the wing there. Musah also getting the start. The bad. Paredes, injured, could not play this weekend. Weah, injured, could not play this weekend. And Busio, also injured, could not play this weekend. Sad. The good. Sargent scores another goal in the championship, continuing to score for Norwich there. And Aronson also scoring for Leeds. We now have Sargent, Wright, and Aronson all on 2 goals in the championship. Maybe all in a fight. Aronson at the number 10 for that golden boot in the championship. Only 1 goal off that mark right now. The bad. Balogun, unfortunately, was benched by Monaco this weekend. And he was not only benched, but then they subbed on an 18-year-old striker in Breel Mbolo's place above him. Very sad. Very concerning. Not the first option off the bench for Monaco. Obviously, he's a huge investment, so you'd hope they still want to play him a good amount, but not a good sign this week. But the good, Jedi Robinson gets an assist for Fulham, the game-winning assist. And Pepe and Tillman, the PSV boys, also get goals in their 7-1 win over Almere City. I watched that game.
Competitive.
There is no damn way in hell that PSV should be playing against some of these Eredivisie teams. It is absurd how much better they are than these teams. And like, it's not even comparable. There is zero shot for these teams to come close. The second Almere City made it 2-1, PSV were like, oh shit, let's go score some goals. And then scored fucking 5 more with zero effort in it. It was absurd to watch. Richie Ledesma also starts at right back for them there. Back to the bad. This one not as bad, though, so we're not going as low. We're going a little lower peak here. Gio Reyna, 10 minutes off the bench, so does not get that much play time. Obviously, we're hoping for a bit bigger of a role for Gio Reyna, but in those 10 minutes, he looked awfully good, and looks like him and Nuri Sahin after the game were embracing, were excited to talk to each other. Good relationship between him and the manager there. You like to see that. Good 10 minutes, but only 10 minutes. We'll see how that fares in terms of Pochettino's system. And then finally, the rest of the good. Mark McKenzie made his Ligue 1 debut today, Sunday. He went 65 minutes, looked slightly shaky, a little nervous maybe for his debut, but not too bad. And then Tanner Tessmann going to Lyon right now to do his medical on Monday. That one should be finished up rather soon here with the Here We Go. So he gets out of Venezia, where he was no longer in the project. Kenzie starts his season over in League One or Ligue 1. Don't want to get confused with Mr. Barnsley, Gaga Spornina. But a good start there. And then finally, let's close it off on some bad news. Why don't we? Johnny was benched again for Real Betis. So we don't have a single one of our main starters really consistently starting. Boys,
Nice.
What stands out the most from the good? What stands out most from the bad, Nick?
Are Americans finding their level? Are they
The championship.
got these moves to big teams and then hold bench and are doing well in the championship? And we have a goalie in League One. Like, are we going back? Listen, there's officially, I think we've all said it, officially no more excuses for this player pool after the Poch hire. We're going to find out a lot about these boys in the upcoming camps. Maybe not so much this one in a couple weeks, but we'll find out a lot. Was it just really Pulisic and that's it all along? Who knows? But don't love the vibes.
Don't love the vibes. There's plenty of goals and assists going around, but in terms of important players like Balogun and Gio, those are kind of the players you want those from. Mike, on the screen here, you can see Zion Suzuki, the starting goalkeeper for Parma, was born in Newark, New Jersey, but is representing the Japanese national team. Was never going to be an American, although we did reach out to his camp. Goalkeeper situation, not great. Is the midfield situation more concerning just of how important that position is with none of our players playing, or is it still goalkeeper because who the fuck is it going to be?
I think the midfield's more concerning because it's more players, arguably more important, in my opinion. And none of them are playing. We have one or two goalkeepers who aren't playing. None of our midfielders are, except for Yunus Musah. That is very concerning to me. The Balogun thing is also super concerning. I got that he didn't play a lot last year under Ben Yedder. That makes sense, veteran striker. But now he's competing with Breel Mbolo, who is okay, not great, and this young 18-year-old. So if he's not getting minutes under those guys, that's highly concerning.
Yeah, it was first game of the season for Balogun. It was a two-striker setup, and he was one of those two. Had some big misses, two big missed opportunities for goals there. And in this system, it was just one striker up top, and that was Breel Mbolo. No Ben Yedder. So you have him out of the equation. You would hope that Balogun would be able to step up, and has gone the opposite way with the 18-year-old Frenchman getting an opportunity above him in their second game here against Lyon. But shit, you hope Balogun can figure it out because he has a lot of talent. Copa America seemed like that was kind of his proving card. He looked very good. He was probably the second best player on the American team without that much question. But boys, yeah. I heard this in a podcast I was listening to today. The U.S. from the 22 World Cup had all these players moving to big teams, Premier League teams, Juventus, and all the others. Who from the 22 World Cup has improved? Since 2022, who has improved their play? I mean, I think Pulisic is the obvious answer, as he's now killing it at AC Milan. But other than him, can you point to a single player of that main group, the starters, that has risen their stock? Mike?
Are we going to include Chris Richards since he didn't really feature very much in that World Cup?
I mean, we can include him in a footnote, but yeah, I didn't play an insane amount. So
I go Anthony Robinson. Yeah.
Did I?
Serginho, if he's healthy, he's made big strides, I think.
I mean, he was at Barcelona.
Do you think he's made strides, though, or has he just been the same guy?
He's just been
That's hard to tell. Yeah, he had a rough couple of seasons with club where he didn't get to play a lot, so you couldn't see. But, I mean, he had a great season last year, upward trajectory, which is more than we could say about
against these fucking chumps who are losing 7-1.
Yes, true.
He did look
not a lot
very
of
good
options, Nick.
season.
I'm trying to be optimistic here.
Any Timmy shouts? No?
Timmy Weah?
Yeah. Has he gotten
mean-
better? I think he's gotten better. I don't think
I
he was
don't know
great
if
to
maybe
begin with. I think
marginally.
he's gotten better. I mean, he's definitely better for Juventus than he was for Lille.
Haji, right? Definitely.
Haji? Well, I mean, he
Haji?
wasn't even part of it, right?
He was
Was he
on the
part of
squad.
it?
He was in Turkey. Yep.
He scored against
He's-
Netherlands.
He was one of our goal scorers.
Disgusting.
Jesus Herrera, no. Josh Sargent, you could make a shout, but
No.
I mean, he was kind of doing the same thing. He's at the same place.
An incomplete guy in a
But
weaker division now.
Yeah. Everyone else is kind of a
You
struggle.
could make everything else. You can make somewhat of a shout, maybe for like a Musah.
There's no for sure yeses, yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no for sure yeses other than Pulisic, where you're like, oh yeah, he was at a shit position in Chelsea and now he's killing it in Serie A. Everybody else, you're kind of like, ooh.
But also, I think
Not
the
great.
important part of that question is gotten better. Not been in a better situation, but gotten better. Pulisic has grown
Yeah.
as a player, in my opinion. He has gotten better.
100%.
I think maybe you can make a case for anyone else, but like there's some you can make a case for, but there's definitely no other definite yeses. Like there's no other, oh yeah, he definitely grew. Which is kind of the issue that you run into when you say, oh, we have all these young kids and it's all gonna come to fruition. Well, you know, that is never guaranteed in any state. So it's not looking great. But
Yeah.
we're still optimistic.
Still
Cautiously
at
optimistic.
decent positions if they can get some things figured out. Some people need to still be moved, find playtime, but still at a decent spot where there can still be that development. We'll obviously see. It's going to have to come before that big World Cup coming up at home, hopefully. But boys, let's get into our shout out of the week here. And Palmer, why don't we start off with you for your shout out of the week?
Shout out the Wolverhampton Wanderers for not making me regret my decision to leave them. I'm with a much better team now in the
Yeah, thank God you're in Ipswich.
Ipswich Town.
Once again,
They're
2
above
weeks in
them.
a row where Ipswich is one above Wolves, so they're keeping pace with each other. But yeah, Palmer's taking up the Nani Madueke stance that Wolverhampton.
Ipswich
There's nothing
scored
good about
against-
that place.
Ipswich scored against Man City. Do we think Wolves will
Wolves
do that?
did score 2.
Did they score
Wolves beat
twice?
Man City
I
last
think
year.
Wolves good.
Last
Yeah.
year, sure.
Wolves also
Good.
had like 2 goals disallowed, which brings me to my shout out of the week. And my shout out of the week is silver linings. I know it was 6-2, but I thought Wolves looked good, boys. I don't know if I'm being crazy.
No.
Everyone was shitting on them.
How?
Listen, bro. I think they created a lot. They were unlucky not to score. Again, 2 goals called offside by the thinnest of margins. And like Jose Sa played horrible that game. The back line was horrible, but Matheus Cunha and what's his name? Their new striker from Denmark. The other goal scorer, Larson. Jørgen Strand Larson. Both of them are ballers in attack. I think Wolves sneaky have something. I think Palmer's gonna live to regret the day when he jumped ship.
I don't know if this is the game that I really saw a lot of potential from Wolves, but you know what? I love the glass.
I thought they played
glass
well.
half full.
Silver linings,
Glass
baby.
Glass at least a quarter full for Wolves. I don't know if you can say fully a half. My shout out of the week goes to, actually I have 2. I'm pulling a mic here. I have Joe Linton for getting us ready for football season, being back. Get him out there on that Florida State roster. They could fucking use him. Georgia Tech beating them in Ireland and Joe Linton right over there in England. I mean, shit, they could make it work. And the second shout out is to John JKY7 on Twitter for, I mean, the most loyal liker you will ever see on our Twitter page. Liking every post, always supporting. So shout out to you. You are a real one. We
The
appreciate
new flags
it.
had a burner.
This Jared, Mike, and Nico guys also just really liking it up. Shout out to them, whoever they are. I'm sure they're really cool
Welcome.
people. Mike, what is your shout out of the week?
I've got 2 per usual. 1 soccer, 1 not. First one, Jules Koundé, right back for Barcelona. Pocketed Nico Williams against Athletic Bilbao this weekend. Big boy performance. And he has always been fantastic, but definitely gets underrated in that Barcelona team. He is an outstanding performer, very versatile as well. And then the other one is for Producer P. He brought up drinking milk before we started this podcast. Shout out Producer P and our milk races of late. We used to see how fast we could chug a glass of milk, and I don't think I ever won. Can you confirm, Producer P?
I don't remember this, but you would have no chance of winning. Yeah, I agree.
Guy likes his milk.
I like milk.
Very pro dairy.
You don't remember chugging milk?
I do not remember this.
You're
After
chugging
school
milk
in elementary
league
school.
You don't remember?
Daily.
Wow, dude.
Daily.
That is a throwback. I'll have to look that
It is
up.
a throwback.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like Skyview. I was like, you what the hell is wrong with you guys?
No.
Listen,
When we were in like
I don't-
fourth grade.
Yeah.
We started this pod talking about all the big headlines in soccer, and we are ending it with chugging milk contest between you guys, and Palmer is the greatest of all time at that.
We should try to do a gallon of milk in an hour. 4 of us.
Oh,
You should.
God,
An hour?
no.
Definitely should.
Ew.
I don't think that's that crazy, right? A
It's
gallon
crazy.
You just
No, it's crazy.
Just gonna have to shit.
That's a lot of milk.
A lot of milk.
to shit.
You're gonna, dude. Your song's gonna get messed up.
That would turn me up.
I mean, it's just a lot of liquid, but I feel like,
no,
I
dude.
don't have that problem.
All right, next
when I-
pod.
I don't think you're shitting. I
Tuesday,
think you're
tune
peeing,
in,
maybe.
We're getting
Tuesday,
flags
tune
and
in.
a gallon of milk.
We're drinking a gallon of milk on stream. If I don't finish it by the end of the pod, let us know in the comments what I have to
Yep.
do.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, dude.
All right, Palmer, close us out with your question with Producer P here.
Oh, God.
If
Give me
this
one
has
sec.
not gotten weird enough already, this is just going completely off the rails. So
God, I hope it's milk related.
Keep it, that would be good. I'll keep it soccer related today. Hold up.
there we go. We're making a return to the normal.
Yeah, I agree.
Wasn't last week
Um,
soccer related and ended up being like a zombie apocalypse or some shit?
No, I didn't say that.
I'm pretty
Boys.
sure you did.
Boys, you have the entire Premier League roster to pick from. Name one player you could realistically be boys with and why.
Oh. Damn.
Probably Declan Rice.
I feel like I'm gonna say Chris Richards. Similar age, American. Seems like a funny guy.
Declan is
Matt
just-
Turner.
Matt Turner is.
We're absolutely shite with our hands, and we never see the field. Let's go, Maddie. We could be good friends.
Dex is all
think,
about the boys. We're both 25. I think. Oh man, I'm the same age as Declan Rice. Look at how our lives turned out.
Wow.
I
This
hate
fucking
that.
blows.
It's a wild statement.
There's
You
nothing
should be in
worse
that
than
double
seeing
pivot.
that a professional athlete is younger than you, and you're like, fuck. I got
And-
work tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen
watching-
Endrick. He looks younger than some of my 8th graders, bro. It's crazy.
It's just not right how it happens. It shouldn't be possible if there are professional athletes younger than us. We still are just waiting for our break. So,
Meanwhile,
if anybody's
there's,
looking
like-
for some,
I also find it crazy that
Well-
I'll watch college like football or basketball, and there's 18-year-olds that look at least 10 years older than me.
Yeah. Look, if I'm being honest, like, yeah, Declan Rice, $100 million move to Arsenal, England's best midfielder. But how much subscribers does his YouTube channel have? I don't think that many. I don't know about 180
Not
ones.
as many as yours.
I don't think he's got one. He would have to start from nothing. So
Yeah.
Yeah, just like
get bent.
Cristiano Ronaldo started from nothing, and now he has like
It's at 30 mil.
70 million. So, listen,
those are
help us
bots.
reach Cristiano Ronaldo's
That's a good segue, yeah.
status here.
If
Help
Cristiano
us reach
Ronaldo can get
Cristiano's-
tens of millions in a day, why can't we? Where's the support? Show us some love.
All right, guys,
What's Cristiano
everybody-
doing for you?
Like and
subscribe,
subscribe.
create
Take your shirts off.
channels, and also subscribe. Didn't say that, but make sure to subscribe so you can stay tuned here. We will have the preview for the next week in the Premier League, including games like Everton versus Bournemouth. I mean, talk about excitement, baby.
Electric
We will have
City.
it all here. Keep it tuned, subscribe, turn on notifications, and like the video. Until next time, Peace.